So it's a different way of producing and reproducing.
Across various parts of the Flang complex, reskilled workers are renewing engines, mending batteries and refurbishing old cars of all brands that have been traded in so that by the time they leave the plant, they seem as good as new.
If you create closed loop between your end-of-life vehicles and your new vehicles, then you regain a bit of control on your materials. If you consider end-of-life vehicles as a resource and not a waste, then you regain a bit of an independency and a sovereignty of your key strategic materials. So hopefully, in the midterm, we can ramp up the share of closed-loop materials within our car.
Well, here we have the finish line for the engines. They have been disassembled, they have been scrubbed and cleaned, and now it's time that they've been put back together to see they actually switch on.
And I'm not someone who's ever committed violence, and yet massive violence was committed against my companies, massive violence was threatened against me. Who are these people? Why would they do that? How wrong can they be? They're on the wrong side of history, and that's an evil thing to do.
Do you see yourself, and are you committed to still being the chief executive of Tesla in 5 years' time?
Yes.
No doubt about that at all?
Well, no, I might die.
They saw it as being at the forefront of the climate crisis, and now people are driving around with stickers in their cars saying, I bought this before we knew Elon was crazy.
And there are also people who are buying it because Elon's crazy, or however they may view it. In terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Growth is the essence of life. So at First Bank, we continually develop innovative tools to help nurture our customers' finances. With all financial solutions, we have been inspiring growth by helping businesses flourish for over 130 years, investing in people, their projects, and their communities for the economic benefits of all. You first. First Bank.
This is CNN. More people get their news from CNN than any other news source.
White South Africans, many of them farmers, enter the American dream. Some, too young to know, they've also entered an international firestorm.
Welcome. Welcome to the United States of America.
The U.S. government says it's taking in these refugees fleeing alleged racial discrimination at home.
That's why they've opened the door for them.
Yes, and they don't fit that bill. Those people who have fled are not being persecuted. The American government has got the wrong end of the stick here.
South Africa's president has come to the U.S. to set the record straight and is expected to meet President Donald Trump Wednesday, hoping to reset the two countries' relationship. It was his signing of a controversial land seizure law in January that invoked Trump's wrath, allowing the state to take unused farmland without compensation if deemed just, equitable, and in the public interest. South Africa's majority black population still owns just a small percentage of farms more than 30 years after apartheid officially ended, while most are owned by the white minority. There were 36 murders at farms between April and December last year, but only 7 of the victims were farmers, according to police data. But President Trump calls it a, quote, genocide against white farmers.
They're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. It's a genocide that's taking place.
The accusation, partly stemming from this apartheid-era song, made popular again by far-left opposition leader Julius Malema.
Kill the poor, the farmer.
But AfriForum, the conservative white Afrikaners lobby group, won't explicitly say there is a white genocide.
There's a call for genocidal call. People are being killed and people are being tortured. We need to prevent this from going further.
AfriForum is described by the US-based Southern Poverty Law Center as a white nationalist group. They have the ear of the US administration, but they're not leaving South Africa.
At AfriForum, we say our future is in Africa because our ancestors came here more than 300 years ago.
South African-born entrepreneur Elon Musk has fanned the accusations against his homeland, frustrating locals.
I think they are lying. There's no genocide in here.
Elon Musk is overhyping the situation. There's no such as genocide.
We mustn't mischaracterize things as a genocide. There's no mass expropriation of land taking place in South Africa. There's no genocide taking place.
Musk reportedly wants approvals for his companies to operate in South Africa.
Well, is Elon Musk invited when you have that face-to-face meeting?
Well, I don't know. They will determine whether Elon Musk is part of it or not.
President Ramaphosa hopes to mend the rift and convince Trump to attend the G20 summit in Johannesburg in November. Larry Medowo, CNN, Nairobi.
Columbia University's acting president, award-winning journalist Claire Shipman, was booed while giving a speech during the Columbia College commencement ceremony. Some students chanted "Free Mahmoud," referring to Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian activist and Columbia University graduate student whose green card was revoked over his involvement in demonstrations at the university. President Donald Trump said Khalil would be deported. He has not been charged with any crime, but the administration says his presence in the country runs counter to its goal to end anti-Semitism. Shipman acknowledged some graduates may feel frustration toward her and the administration.
I know that many of you feel some amount of frustration with me, and I know you feel it with the administration.
But it wasn't clear if she was referring to the school's administration or the Trump administration. A federal judge has temporarily blocked Khalil's deportation, and he remains in ICE custody in Louisiana. Columbia University has declined to comment to CNN.
I'm here with Billy Hamilton, champion of the PBR.
He's good.
Not as good as you.
Not as good as I was.
Neil McDonough is a former bull rider in The Last Rodeo.
You nearly killed yourself riding bulls, and you wonder why I don't want my son following in your footsteps.
Then his grandson has a headache that turns out to be much more.
He has a brain tumor.
Your insurance will only cover roughly 40%. Are you going to be able to pay the difference? It could be $250,000.
I can't afford it. I have no money. There's no way.
So Joe decides to return to the rodeo ring to help his family.
PBR Legends Championship is this weekend. $1 million for first place.
Have you lost your mind? You will not get on that bull.
McDonough came up with the story while on the road for work, missing his wife.
The idea came into my head, write a film, Rocky on a Bull, for an older guy who has to go back and save his grandson's life because he is dying from the same brain tumor that his wife died of. It's like, where did that come from?
Do you remember the last time you rode? I had to clean you, bathe you, walk you.
I thought the conceit that Neil had in the script was actually quite brilliant, because he's a person of faith, but the character he plays isn't. He's lost his faith, and he's hurting.
McDonough trained with professional bull riders for the role. Director John Avnet calls the star a classic Western hero.
He's wearing this cowboy hat, and he wears it, and he looks like he's in the right place. You put him on a horse, he's in the right place. You put him on a bull, he's in the right place.
Well, will the Cinderella story continue here? Tiny Tim and Wayne. Here we go.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Welcome back to Marketplace Europe from Change Now. From the cars we drive to the houses we live in and the very structure here at the Grand Palais, steel is everywhere. It's also one of the world's dirtiest industries. SSAB is a major player in European steel and their focus has shifted in recent years. They're betting big on green steel. Not this kind of green. Steel production still accounts for around 7 to 11% of global carbon emissions, with 55% of European steel coming from coal-based furnaces. But in Sweden, SSAB has embarked on an ambitious new path, aiming to become a world leader in hydrogen steel.
The technology that we have been focusing on is using electricity to electrolyze water. So we produce hydrogen without the CO2 emission, the green hydrogen, and use that hydrogen gas to do this ion reduction work. So we replace coal in the current process with this new technology. And with that, we can essentially take away all the CO2 emissions in the steel production. And this has been proven it works in the semi-industrial scale. And now we are scaling up to make big investments. So I have a piece of steel in my pocket. Yes. And this is...
I love a prop.
Yeah, sure. You have a look. And this is the first steel we made with this new technology. This was already made in 2021.
This new green steel is the result of a collaboration between SSAB, mining group LKAB, and energy firm Vattenfall, known as HYBRIT, Hydrogen Breakthrough Iron-Making Technologies.
We have seen a lot of interest. We have received a lot of visitors to our pilot plant in Luleå, and we are telling our story and we are sharing the knowledge. So we believe that this technology will be spread.
It's been 10 years since the Paris Accord. Do you think the steel industry is where it should be to reach the targets?
From the technical perspective, we launched the HYBRIT initiative in 2016, immediately after the Paris Agreement was entered. Now we have proven this technology works. So it's a good step, already very important milestones, and now we are making an investment to implement. So things has happened. Of course, we always want to make it quicker. We need to collaborate.